When was the last time you rubbed your eyes really hard and saw stars? Not actual stars, but little flickers of light behind your closed eyelids. If this has never happened to you, consider yourself lucky. For the rest of us, this is a fairly common experience. It's all thanks to our amazing brains. Let's break down exactly what's happening, how it works, and why it can feel like your eyes are playing tricks on you. When you rub your eyes, you might be trying to remove an irritant, or maybe you read just tired, and it feels good to get that scratch. But either way, there's one thing you know for sure. The lights you see when you open your eyes again were actually there before. Instead, they're called phosphenes, tiny flashes of light that appear without any actual light entering your eye. No flashlight, no sunlight, just pressure. And your brain being kind of weird? These visuals can look like stars, spirals, geometric shapes, or even static like fuzz. And though they're usually harmless, scientists have seen them occur in some pretty extreme situations. Like, for example, hitting someone on the head triggers phosphene. So if you find yourself lying on the ground with stars exploding behind your eyelids, you should probably check for a pulse. Now, let's say you looked into a mirror and saw those lights coming from your own eyes. What would you see? Well, the first step to understanding that is knowing a bit about your eyes. At the back of each eye is the retina, a thin layer of tissue lined with photoreceptor cells. These cells are called rods and cones. They detect light by converting it into electrical signals, which travel from the optic nerve to your brain and get interpreted as sight. But when you rub your eyes, you're applying pressure to the retina and optic nerve. And here's the wild part. Your brain doesn't know the difference between that and actual light. It just gets a signal and goes, oh, light. Let's show something. So your brain basically hallucinates the visuals that you see. But why does it invent these images? Because our brains are pattern recognition machines. Even when the input is incomplete or wrong, they try to make sense of it. And that brings us back to rubbing your eyes. The pressure creates a physical reaction, but it's up to your brain to fill in the blanks. So instead of showing nothing, it generates a hallucination based on the patterns it knows. Here's another question you might have. Do other people see the same thing when they rub their eyes? And the answer is no. The patterns you see are completely unique to you. Your brain is filling in the blanks with your own unique set of associations. That's why some people might see stars while others see stripes or wavy lines. We're all just making things up, literally. And it turns out that seeing phosphenes when rubbing your eyes isn't the only way these hallucinations happen. They can also come from sneezing too hard, standing up too fast, or even blinking hard. Basically, any activity that puts pressure on your eyes could trigger them. And surprisingly, this happens to many more animals than just humans. For example, fish can see phosphenes after being handled roughly, and horses will show them if they get poked in the eye. Even astronauts in space see them when cosmic rays hit their retina. Literal flashes of light in pitch-black darkness. But why? Well, here's one explanation. Evolutionarily speaking, it makes sense to be able to interpret visual cues, even if they're not perfect. It's better to have a possibly incorrect interpretation than no interpretation at all. That way you're still getting some useful information, even if it's wrong. Some people can even see them without rubbing their eyes. Certain blind people, especially those with retinal function, report seeing phosphenes spontaneously, or when they yawn, sneeze, blink, or eat. And some studies have found that the intensity and frequency of these phosphenes can vary depending on the person and the situation. So next time you see stars when you rub your eyes, remember you're not alone. Phosphenes are a totally normal experience for most of us. And they're a great example of how our brains deal with incomplete or unexpected inputs. So keep on rubbing those eyes and keep on hallucinating. If you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching.